The insecurities started to fall away. I am not happy. I move on because I have moved over 20 times. I am going to be starting a subscription. Hi everyone, it's Deborah from Planning, Living, and Loving, and it's Let's Talk Tuesday. And today I was going to talk about something my sister said this past weekend. We were out to lunch, and she said, "Has it really been almost 2 years since you've been here?" So for anyone that doesn't know me, my name is Deborah, and I am the founder of Planning, Living, and Loving. But 2 years ago, I moved from the St. Louis area to Texas, in a small town of 800 people, because this is where my sister lives with my nieces and nephews. And my daughter never knew them. And I work from home, so there was no reason to stay there. So I sold my newly built home that I had been in for only 2 years and moved here. So I was just gonna kind of talk about what I have learned from this experience, and just whatever comes to mind. But the main thing that I have learned is my home, me and Candace, my daughter, our dream home that we both got to plan and decorate, was 1,900 square feet, 2-story, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, blah, blah, blah. Absolutely gorgeous. And, we loved it. But the subdivision was, the neighbors were, I was trying to keep up with the Joneses, and they were a lot younger than me. I'm an older parent. And, I'm just not that anymore. Actually, if I ever was that. So, I talked with Candace. My sister talked with Candace. Of course, she was ecstatic about this, because she had been down here for over 40 years, and we would see each other maybe every 3 years, maybe. Candace agreed, and we did it. I did it. When coincidentally, is it coincidence? I think not. When the week I told my sister that, okay, we're going to do it, we're moving, the house at the end of their driveway went up for sale. A very, very cheap price, because the house was just not that great. And it's like 1,200, 1,400 square feet, which is good size, but it's smaller than what we had. We were used to having a lot of space for us to roam around in. So my sister was able to buy it. And then when we moved here, we rented it from her and her husband. And then a year later, I bought it. So what I have learned from this is your dreams aren't always what you think they should be. That house that I absolutely adored wasn't actually the great thing that I wanted. At least maybe it was just the timing. But moving here and being around my sister and getting to go to lunch with her, meeting my brother-in-law for the first time, and they've been married for 20 years, seeing my nieces and nephews almost every 3 days. I mean, it's just crazy, the difference. I absolutely love it. Yeah, it's hot here. I mean, we were like, okay, St. Louis is hot and humid, so what's the difference? Oh yeah, there's a difference. It is freaking hot here. So we just don't go outside, just like pretty much a lot of other Texans. They just don't go outside in the summer. Um, but, you know, and then not long after moving here and just kind of growing, I don't know what the word is, not really growing up a little bit, but I mean, you guys, I'm 58 years old. Okay, I'm as grown up as I'm gonna be. And I'm at the point now in my life where I can say pretty much what I want and don't care about it. But I'm nice. I'm not a jerk about it. But, whatever. I think if you're older, you'll understand what I'm trying to say. But I totally just forgot what I was going to say. Okay, that's another thing of getting older. Um, oh, I was going to say, so I started my website, Planning, Living, and Loving, and what it's all about is I've always been a pretty strong person. Um, I should say after high school is when the insecurities started to fall away. I was, I was very insecure in high school. I hit it well, to tell you the truth, but whew, I had some really good friends and we made it through. But I always have spoken up for people who couldn't speak up for themselves. I always spoke up for myself when someone accused me, and accuse is kind of a strong word, but said that I'm doing something wrong. And, I do my job very well. I mean, I've been doing this type of work that I do for so many decades that I'm good at it, okay? I'm just going to say it. But when someone tells me that I did something wrong, they better be able to back it up. So I I have a pretty strong personality and I'm not afraid to use it. So I have always helped women get a voice, not necessarily have to be a strong voice, but just help to find themselves. So I started Planning, Living, and Loving with the idea that the loving part is helping women to have a safe space to go to, find their voice, and just a place to talk. But the planning and the living part, I love planning. So I put some forms and checklists and some manuals kind of on my website, uh, because when I do something, I'm pen to paper person, so I like to write it down, go through a list. When I like traveling, I write everything down. I don't want to forget packing. Okay, so then the living part was just like budgeting items, things that you could use to make your life easier. So that's all. That's all that. Um, and it's kind of a lot. So I'm not being found like in algorithms and all that crap that I just hate. But um, if there's anything, go check it out. Planninglivingandloving.com. Just go check it out and see what all's there. But I am going to be starting a subscription within the next 6 months. And I am going to be moving my Planning, Living, and Loving more towards the loving. Because I have two other businesses out there that's also connected to all of this. So I'm going to kind of move away from the planning part, and I'm going to start doing more stationery. I just love creating stationery and stickers. They're fun. But the loving part is I want to do a subscription, not a box, but an envelope, with items in there probably every 2 months that have a good emotional support statement that you can like put up on your desk. And if you aren't comfortable doing that, you can put it on your nightstand, in your bathroom, wherever you will see it. Um, and then it'll have a sticker and the oh my gosh, other things that can be flat but put in an envelope, so that I can encourage women to find themselves and be okay with themselves, help them to come out of whatever shell that they have put themselves in, or whatever wall they've been put behind. Okay, confession time. I've been married 3 times. Oh my God. And the first one, it's really stupid of me because a couple of them shouldn't have been, but I am, it is what it is, but I have learned so much. I've grown so much, and but when I am not happy, I move on. And I'm not saying that that is for everyone, because I have quite a few friends who have been married for like 40 years, 30 years, and that is great. They made it through their ups and downs. They made it through their downs. I guess I just don't have that in me, or I just didn't have the right partner to do that with. Okay, anyway, what time is it? 11 minutes that I've been babbling. Let's see if I can cut this down in editing, but I just kind of wanted to give you my story and the story of planning, living, and loving. Um, and that's it. So if you have any questions, if you have any questions about moving, I am your girl, because I have moved over 20 times in my adult life. Because like I said, if I'm not happy, I move on. And if my rent got raised, I moved. Not the smartest financial decisions that I have made in my life, but each one was a little better than the last. So just, if you have any questions about that, I can, there's actually a moving guide on planning, living, and loving. It's like 8 pages long. It's very detailed. Go check it out. But if you just want to stop and say hi, just stop and say hi. If you have any questions about anything, you just want to start a conversation, I'm here. I'm just a normal person, really. A little sarcastic, but been through the ringer. No, that's not right. Whatever. Okay, I'm going to stop talking. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And my launch goes live Saturday, for the Carol's Daisies, the Daisy collection. So I hope you check that out. And I will talk to you all later. Bye.